Hi guys, Paul here, and this is going to be a quick review of a product that was sent out by Foxtech FPV, and it's the new SkyZone RC700D 7-inch Diversity DVR Monitor. So we received this probably about a week ago, and I'll go through and show you exactly what comes with this monitor. So this is basically what comes with the monitor. You have an audio video cable, power cable for the monitor. These are the antennas that actually come with it. Whether you use this or not, it's going to be your choice, but obviously you can go for better options such as a skew planar antenna and possibly add a helical on it, and that'll give you a good diversity and a bit more range as far as punching out further with it. So these are the antennas that come with it. You're probably not going to use this, and you've got the manual with it too, which isn't too bad actually, the manual on this. So this is what the monitor actually looks like, and it comes with the SunShade already pre-installed, and that just pops open like so. And what I'll do for now is I'll pop that off, and we'll touch bases on this a little bit later on. So this is the monitor itself. What you have here is two LEDs, and these LEDs will show you which antenna is actually being used, as in which one of these two. We have some buttons on there: playback, minus, plus, record OK, and obviously a menu. Now one thing you'll notice with this is it has the dip switches. Now it's a 32 channel receiver on this, but to change channels you're going to be using the dip switch on it. So on top of the unit what you have is two antenna connectors, and this is where you would connect either the supplied antennas or the type of antennas that you want to use, whether they're a skew planar or a helical or a patch or whatever it is that you choose to go down the path of. And this is where they connect up. So what you have on the side is your video AV in and AV out. So you could use this to actually supply the video feed to your goggles if you so wish. And you can obviously play video directly back into this. So you could be recording a video feed from your goggles if you want to, but that's probably not the way most of us are going to use it. USB connector, I'm assuming that's for updates, or possibly a USB recorder, and a micro SD, which is probably what we're going to use. Now on the opposite side, what we have is two power connections. This white type of plug, I'm not sure what sort of connector that is, but that one there, and also your regular power jack, and 12 volts in. So on the back what you have is your speaker and some vents to allow the unit to cool down. And we also have a battery tray here, which I think is a fantastic idea. They're suggesting a 2S battery. Not sure how well that'll work, because I would imagine this thing's going to draw a fair bit of current, because the screen on this is very bright. So, but we'll touch bases on this a little later on. So this is basically just some playback using this monitor. The quality is actually quite impressive as far as brightness of this LCD monitor goes. It's by far the brightest LCD monitor that we have. So in that sense, it's really, really impressive, and it's got some good functionality. It's got some pros, and like everything, it's got some cons too. And I'll actually run through those shortly. But as far as the monitor itself goes, it doesn't produce a blue screen. So if you're watching, we'll go to switch playback off. If you've got no video signal, you're just going to get static like this. So you know it's going to work well. In that sense, there's no issues at all as far as an FPV monitor goes, and the diversity on it seems to be working really, really well. Receiver sensitivity seems to be good too, but we'll do some further tests a little later on and do a follow-up video on that. Okay, so what we'll do now is basically get into the menu and show you exactly how the menu operates. First thing we've got is loop recording. You're most likely going to have that off, unless you don't mind erasing footage you've previously recorded. So I have that off. Date stamp, I also have that off because I don't want the date to appear on my video footage. It's your choice whether you want that on or off. Memory info, that just shows you what you've got available on a memory card. Format will actually format the card, and we won't do that. Language allows you to set the language. It already came pre-selected with English, so that was a bonus. I think the last DVR I received, which was the RC800, that didn't actually come set in English, and I had to actually set that up myself, and that was quite challenging. Date time, that will allow you to set the date and time on it. Defaults, we'll reset it back to defaults. Beep, we'll later have the beeps on. So I like that off. It's quite irritating, so I don't normally have that on, but you may want to have that on. It's your choice. TV standard, it's much like the RC800, where you actually have to set the TV standard, so it won't automatically detect whether it's a PAL or an NTSC signal. So depending on what frequency you're tuned into, what camera you've got on that particular aircraft, you may have to switch it from PAL to NTSC. You sometimes fall in the trap where all of a sudden the video's it's going haywire and you're not sure what's going on. You're on the right channel, and it's usually because of the fact that you've actually got it set to the wrong format. But most of my cameras I use a PAL, so not a great issue for Thomas and myself. So next one is battery type, and that's set to 2S. Now you can change it to whatever you want. I would suggest going to ignore, because I believe these things, I'm sure it's going to have the same issue that the RC800 had, in that it actually reads the voltage incorrectly. Actually, I already know it reads it incorrectly. So it's looks like a revamped RC800, so keep that in mind. So I would have that set to ignore so it doesn't switch off too early. And LCD brightness, I have it set to level 3, and that's probably more than enough. You can go to the highest level, but this LCD monitor is really, really bright. If you look at the RC800 review that I did a while back, I'll have a link in the description. That was a fantastic monitor, super bright. Receiver was really sensitive, really impressed with that monitor. And this thing's actually brighter again as far as the LCD goes. So a really top-notch LCD as far as outdoor flight goes. This will be a big plus. Full LCD full screen view. Set that to off. And if you set that to off, you can see it goes to a 4:3 aspect ratio. Now I normally have that set. I prefer it in the widescreen format. It doesn't worry me because I can't really tell whether a tree's stretched out or not. It's not a big deal. I like the bigger image to look at, but that's going to have to be a choice that you'll have to make yourself. And I'll set that back to on again. So that's pretty much how the menu itself actually operates. So what we're going to do is quickly compare the RC700D to the RC800. Both of them are about the same size. One of the difference is this one uses dip switches to change channels. This one uses the front panel to change channels. So if you're flying mainly on your own, it's not going to be a big issue. You'll set this to the whatever channel you have most of your FPV aircraft on, and you're good to go. This one also has these connectors, which allows you to connect this nice plastic monitor shade that comes with this one, and this one doesn't. This one also has diversity. This one doesn't. We also have internal battery bay, which this one also doesn't have. So that's basically the difference between the two of these. This one's also way brighter than this LCD monitor, which is a fantastic monitor to begin with anyway. So what I want to do now is quickly run through some of the pros and cons that I see with this. One thing I love about this, it has diversity. Absolutely brilliant. Love the idea of having diversity on this monitor. Brightness, second to none. Brilliant brightness on this one. You have the built-in speaker, which seems quite loud. That works quite well if you do want audio from your FPV monitor. Now, you've got multiple power options on this one, which is great. You've got 2 power jacks on this side, plus the battery tray in the back. That's fantastic. You're going to have to find a pretty small battery to fit here. Now, I've got a few that work, but I'm not sure how long they're going to last. But I like the fact that the battery is going to be held internally. Sunshade that comes with it, fantastic having a sunshade that just packs up so neatly. Absolutely love that. And it also supports 32 channels, so that ticks all the boxes there for me. So as far as the cons go with this one, it's got no power switch. That's something that I'm going to do a hack. So I do want to run an internal battery, and I will be adding a switch to this one. It would have been nice if there was a power switch on it for the internal battery. Now I'm going to do a hack to this one, and actually I put my own switch in there so I can actually switch it off, because I do want to run it from an internal battery. So that's something I'm going to be doing in the future. If you're interested in that, I'll show you exactly how I go about doing that. The voltage sensing for the battery is not correct. It suffers from the same problem as the RC800, which had the same issue where the sensing wasn't correct. So hence I don't actually have it set to sense the battery voltage. I don't select whether it's a 2S, 3S, etc. Channel switching, that would have been great if the channel switching was done via the front menus. But look, I'm going to be mainly using this as my monitor, so it's not going to be a big deal because all my FPV aircraft are set to the same channel, so that won't be a big issue for me. As far as an FPV monitor goes, this is really nice. I quite like this. I mean, the whole package, it looks really, really good. Just would have loved if the two main things I would have loved if these switches were actually managed through the menu here. And I had an on-off switch for the internal battery. If I had those two, this would be absolutely the mother of all monitors for me. But having said that, look, we're going to give this a run outdoors and try it out properly and see exactly how it goes. I've got no doubt that this is going to work quite well because I'm pretty sure it's basically a revamped RC800, and this was a fantastic monitor and still is a good monitor. So, but anyway, I will do a follow-up on this really, really soon. Hope you enjoy that. Thanks very much for taking time to watch this, and also a big thank you to Foxtech FPV for sending this out for review.